Hey there, thanks for tuning in to this next video where we're going to be going over the details of how to structure your policy. In the last video, we talked about what liability limits are, how they're there to protect your legal responsibility if you damage somebody's property or injure them. We talked about state minimum liability limits, and I discourage people from getting these type of policies because I simply don't think it's enough coverage. I mean, $25,000 of medical bills coverage, you could blow through that in a day with an ambulance ride, a trip to the ER, and a one-night stay in the hospital. $15,000 worth of property damage. 2015 was the best year for new car sales in like the past 2 decades. So what that means is that there's more new cars out on the road in the past than there has been in the past few decades. And so if you're running around with a state minimum policy or no auto insurance coverage at all, guess what? You're setting yourself up for financial crisis. You're setting yourself up for financial hardship if you ever find yourself in an auto accident. And those people who say, oh, that'll never happen to me, you've got a 17% chance of having to use your auto insurance every single year. And so if you've gone more than 5 or 6 years without using your auto insurance, you better start crossing your fingers because statistically speaking, it's coming back around. So let's talk about the most common steps up that we see from these state minimum policies, which I really try to discourage people from getting. The next step up, which is a good thing, is to go from 50, 100, 50. So the numbers still work the same, they're just higher, they're higher amounts. So we've got $50,000 of per person bodily injury coverage, $100,000 worth of total bodily injury coverage, and $50,000 worth of property damage coverage. This isn't where I like people to stay, but it's a good start. If somebody's got no insurance or they've been in a state minimum policy, this is a heck of a lot better. I mean, it's double coverage in certain situations to where you got way more coverage than you had before. So this is the most common step up from what I typically see in most people's insurance policies. The next step that I see from there is generally 100, 300, 100. Same principles still apply. $100,000 per person bodily injury, $300,000 of total bodily injury, $100,000 worth of property damage. Now, the most common next step up from that I see is 250, 500, 250. So this is where I like to have clients be. In an ideal situation, I'd like to have my clients be between here and here, making sure that they've got good solid coverage to take care of their liability needs. Because there's a lot of vehicles out on the road that are worth almost $100,000. And if for no other reason, you want to make sure that you're at least covered to that amount from a property damage standpoint. But what happens if you hit multiple cars? We're going to talk a little bit more about that in another video later. But what happens if you hit multiple vehicles having $250,000 worth of property damage coverage? That's going to go a lot further. And we recently had somebody had this happen in southern Utah where a person was trying to beat the red light, and to avoid getting T-boned from oncoming traffic, they swerved into this oncoming traffic, caused a 7-car pileup right in front of the Chuckarama on River Road and St. George Boulevard. So it can happen, and it does happen from time to time, these multiple car pileups. So these are kind of the most common steps up that we see from the state minimum policies. Having this level of coverage right here allows you to open up the doors to some other insurance coverage, which is a great idea to make sure that we're protecting your assets. The whole reason why we want to make sure we have good auto insurance coverage is because we want to transfer risk from us as the individual to the insurance company. It's funny, sometimes people get this backwards. With our health insurance, we're like, yeah, I want the best type of health insurance coverage. I want dental, I want vision, I want this, that, and the other. But for whatever reason, oftentimes with our auto insurance, we think no, I just want the least amount possible because agents out there aren't talking about what this coverage means. They're not explaining how it works. And so when a client comes to them and says, I want the cheapest policy possible, what's the agent going to do? They're just going to give them one of those and send them on their way. Or there's something that's even worse that drives me crazy. that we're going to talk about. It's one of the sneaky things that shady insurance agents do. So keep your eyes peeled for the next videos where we're going to talk about some of the ways that agents who are not reputable agents will get you, or not reputable companies will get you. So thanks for watching this video. Hopefully it makes sense. Stay tuned for the next ones, and we're going to go through in a little bit more detail.